Good morning, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So, got the next 4 days off. Can you believe that? I've had a bunch of days off. Like, I took some vacation time, and then now I have 4 days off, and I'm taking off for Texas here in like 2 weeks. I feel like I haven't been working at all, but I've pretty much saved up all my vacation time for this time of year. I like taking my vacation during the middle of winter when things are very slow. A lot of guys take their vacation in the middle of summer, and that's just, I mean, I understand why. It's the best time of year to take your vacation, but it is just so hard on like business and everything. So I personally, I like taking my vacations in the wintertime when things are slow and easygoing. Best time to do it. And besides family gatherings and stuff like that, it always takes place, during the wintertime. So anyway, got the next 4 days off, so I'm going to pump out a bunch of videos if I can. Wanted to talk a little bit more about China. China is a very interesting story taking place right now. And if you follow what's going on in China, I really feel that what's taking place there is going to start finding its way throughout the rest of the economies throughout the world. And I'll put some links down in the description for you guys. And some of this stuff is pretty incredible when you start thinking about it, because like a lot of people were very concerned about like the currency wars that were taking place 3, 4, 5 years ago. Well, those things haven't gone away. I mean, there's currency wars that have been alive and well for quite some time now. And just because we don't talk about it as much anymore doesn't mean that they're not going on. And I feel that the United States is about ready to like launch a very big currency war against the Chinese government. Now, think about the Evergrande situation here for a second. Okay? Evergrande had a lot of had a lot of debt that was due in dollars, and they're not the only ones. There is a lot of Evergrande type of corporations that are going on out there, not just in real estate either. I mean, we're talking zombie corporations all over the place who have exceedingly borrowed too much at such a low interest rate that now rolling those old debts into new debts is very difficult, because now they have to pay a higher interest rate on it. And if you cannot roll your old debts into new debts, then you're going to have trouble. Well, not always, but a lot of times you're going to have trouble paying your bondholders. And if you have trouble paying your bondholders, then you have to start selling your assets. And this is where we're sitting with Evergrande, is that they were having trouble rolling over that old debt into new debt. And it's old dollar denominated. Now, I mean, like US dollars, this is what they need. So there's kind of like a twofold happening here. When you think about the Chinese government going to step in and start easing again, this is where they're going to try and lower the interest rates and kind of do the money stimulus programs again to try and stimulate their economy to keep the growth alive. I mean, I don't know how else to quite say it, but that's ultimately what they're going to try and do, is to keep this growth going. And real estate property is everything in China. It's like it makes up like a third of their entire economy. So if that sector starts to go down, then they're going to have issues throughout the rest of the economy. It's almost critical that they keep the property sector at least somewhat viable and not completely crash. Now, it seems that's what they have done. Like, a lot of these construction companies like Evergrande, the investors are stepping in. Like when they hit bottom, and that's like, buy low, sell high, right? So they're at the low. This is where the entrepreneurs could see the possibilities of stepping in and taking over some of these projects and making them profitable again. This is where it begins to happen. Now, how much farther Evergrande goes down, I mean, who knows? They could go down further from here. They can completely go out of business or crash or just become insolvent altogether, and they just chop up whatever little assets they have left and sell them off. And that seems to be the case in a lot of areas. Now, Evergrande is huge, and who knows who has the rights to a lot of these assets. And go and look down in the description. I'm going to leave an article down there where there's different like entities trying to step in and say, no, that's my asset, and who is it that really has rights and claims to this stuff? That all starts to has to get sorted out in courts and, whatever proceedings that take place. But you think about the pain from it all. Go and look at one of the other articles that I leave down there where construction workers, apparently they haven't been paid yet. And now you think about like just the average guy who has been putting in effort this whole time, seeing this go down, and all of a sudden the threat of him not getting paid, or her, How do you think they feel about that? Not too happy. And if you have nothing to lose, you step into the streets with pitchforks. This is the pain. This is the pain that I have been describing for quite some time. When the interest rates started to go up and Evergrande could no longer make it, the pain starts to set in. And now I think about what the United States is about ready to do. Because the United States is about ready to go into a quantitative tightening. They're not doing it yet. They're still easing, right? They're still like, foot on the gas pedal, just kind of eased up on the gas pedal, but still it's on the gas pedal. A lot of people say that the Federal Reserve has switched stance and gone into tighten. It's not. No, they haven't. They haven't started a tightening process yet. They've backed off on easing. There's a difference in that. Tightening is when they actually are pulling the money back out of the system again. And that's not taking place. But it could. And if it does, it's going to be very difficult for entities like Evergrande to come up with dollars, because what they are doing over there in China is weakening their currency. So it's going to take ever increasing amounts of their currency in order to get the dollars that they need to pay off their debts. So at the same time, China is trying to ease their monetary policies to increase their growth in their country. At the same time, they're going to make it very difficult to try and acquire the dollars that they need, or these corporations are going to it's going to make it difficult on these corporations to acquire the dollars they need in order to pay their bondholders. And if the United States at the same time is tightening up, think about this. This is going to make it ever increasingly harder on them. Now, I have a feeling that if this Chinese corporation default problem, it starts turning into major bankruptcies and insolvencies, that can be a contagion scenario that starts spreading throughout the rest of the world. When these companies or these, these entities or whatever, they have to start selling their assets off, we don't know where that could go to and what prices they end up falling to. We don't know how much the dollar is going to strengthen against the Chinese yuan, and how difficult it's going to be for these corporations to pay their debts when that starts to take place. Are they going to be able to do that? This is legitimate questions, And now you think about, like, if they can't not pay those workers, they will riot. They will riot, and you will see blood on the streets. They need to get paid because this is their life. And if you take their life from them, they'll flip out. Guaranteed. No doubt about it. So I just wanted to share a couple of those links and kind of that idea with you guys. Uneducated Economist, you let me know.